Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in the Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2Lift, in our Expert on the Microphone series, we're featuring Dr. Daisy Ayim, a highly accomplished, triple board-certified cosmetic surgeon and obstetrician gynecologist. With over 15 years of experience, Dr. Daisy is a leader in combining cosmetic surgery and OBGYN, enhancing women's health, wellness, and beauty. She operates a private practice in Houston, Texas. She is a respected faculty member, mentor, and media expert. She specializes in facial, breast, body, and female sexual wellness procedures. Today, she joins me to chat all about carboxytherapy for skin rejuvenation, including your skin down there. And she's also going to help me demystify sexual stigmas surrounding women's health. Welcoming now to the show is Dr. Daisy Ayim. Welcome, superstar.
Hi Zen, how are you?
So excited to have you on. Now let's dive right into this new trend of Google search of carboxytherapy that everybody is trying to educate themselves on. Can you explain the benefits of carbon dioxide therapy for skin rejuvenation and how it fits into regenerative medicine, particularly biostimulators like CO2Lift Pro?
Oh wow. So I'm excited to be here. Carboxytherapy is not a new phenomenon. It's been around for a while, but currently in the skin space, we're using it in the form of CO2 lift. And what that is it's in a gel form that when it applied to the face, it causes this acute increase of CO2 in that area. So your body naturally responds to it by increasing blood flow to the face or wherever the carboxytherapy is applied. And that increased blood flow increase collagen production, growth factors. So it just helps the tissue heal. So if you've had a procedure like, say, microneedling or chemical peel or any injury, applying carboxytherapy to that area just helps with the healing and just improves the results. So,
The science is the science, right? When you
yes.
increase the presence of wound repair factors and growth factors, to your point, that helps turn the cells over faster, and that reduces the appearance of course, aging and scars and stretch marks and so much more. I've been using this product personally, and I absolutely love the results. Now, how does CO2 lift treatment differ from other skin rejuvenation procedures, and what makes it effective specifically for enhancing skin texture and appearance?
Yes. So the first reason why it's different from other skincare treatment is it's non-invasive. So there's no injury to your skin, say like with a chemical peel or microneedling or any other procedure. And it works with your natural skin to produce increased oxygenation. So that's what I like about it. There's no injury to your skin, there's no downtime, and it's very simple.
And the CO2 Lift Pro, to my understanding, is the strongest version of carboxy gel, and it's only available to aesthetic and medical providers. But I know it's an in-office or an
Yeah.
at-home treatment that does deliver the CO2 cutaneously over about 45 minutes to an hour. And
Yes.
when watching the patient testimonials, you really see the reaction. It's authentic. It's a transdermal, non-invasive facial mask, and really your peers, yourself, are now recommending this for post-procedure care after these invasive procedures, like you said. um, Now I'm going to shift a little bit. We often hear the use of toxins and fillers for facial enhancements, which we go to and as
Yeah.
women beautify ourselves. But how does incorporating CO2 lift complement or enhance these treatments in your practice, whether it's Botox or injectables?
Well, it's a great compliment because it's not taking away from the procedure at all. It enhances it by increasing blood flow to that area. So, therefore, you have this increased flow, which causes your body to produce collagen through fibroblast production. So, it's a great way to just enhance the procedure without taking an extra step. And I love recommending it to my patients because I tell them, once you go home, you have to do something at bedtime, right? Before going to sleep. So why not do the CO2 mask and beautify yourself?
I love it. Now we're going to shift a little. Let's chat sexual wellness. So, in a 2022 study by the gynecologist at the University of Manchester, England, less than 10% of women could accurately label female genitalia. The
Mhm.
clitoris, the clitoris is even more taboo than the vagina, and arguably the most neglected human organ by medicine. It's still inadequately depicted in most medical textbooks and barely touched upon in medical training. This is a serious problem. I mean, women have been injured by this lack of knowledge through botched reconstruction surgeries, anti incontinence procedures, obstetric tears and repairs, and vulvectomies. But we're at the beginning of redressing the wrongs and misinformation around this neglected organ. Pioneers like yourself are
Mhm.
helping pave the way. Dr. Daisy, why do you think there is shame and embarrassment in the word sex and vagina?
Well, I hope to think that there's not as embarrassment with it anymore, but there's a little bit. Going back to the point that you touched on, which I want to just go further in, you are correct. In our medical school or training, the involvement in the anatomy and the discussion in the vulva vaginal area is limited or lacking, even as an OBGYN. We could do a better job to really diving in further to bring that into our everyday conversation, because as women, when we age, that area changes as well. And there are conversation that needs to be had about that area and how to manage women with it. So going back to your question about why is there a shame with vagina and culturally, I think it's just because in general, some cultures, girls are trained or raised to not be talkative about that area. It's supposed to be sacred, it's supposed to be valuable. But in some ways, a disservice, because not talking, not discussing it, you therefore don't have information. And when you do have questions, you don't know who to go to talk to about those questions. One thing about social media, which I actually love right now, is that there's so much freedom in that space. So women are just being very vocal. And sometimes it comes with misinformation, but I applaud the fact that people are just talking about it. So now you have industries and companies looking into it. And that's why you see all these devices that are coming out to help in that space. But it's still missed, in my opinion, the basics of it, which is the anatomy and the physiology and the hormones that impact that area.
Yes. So now let's talk about how we can beautify the skin down there. So I actually use CO2 Lift vaginal treatment. For me, it helped lift, hydrate, rejuvenate it in just 3 applications. It was amazing. It helped tighten and lift it all for me down there, basically using carbon dioxide therapy. So it
Yeah.
was really, really simple, right? The
Yes.
same concept of the face enhances circulation by rushing oxygen-rich blood to tissue and regenerates these cells to improve sensitivity and lubrication. It's quite phenomenal. Now,
Yeah.
some might find it surprising, but you also offer treatments related to sexual health because that's what you do. Can you share your perspective on CO2 Lift vaginal rejuvenation treatments
Mhm.
and why addressing sexual health aligns with your overall approach to patient care and wellness?
Yeah, so CO2 vaginally is the same concept as the face. We have the same skin texture in our vulva area as we do as the face. So I really encourage all my women that come in here to see me to take time and look at your anatomy in your vulva vaginal area. Because the more familiar you are with it, the easier it is to understand why a product like CO2 Lift is beneficial. As we age, collagen decreases, and that goes everywhere. So down in the vulva area, the skin becomes saggy, become loose. So something like a CO2 lift V is helpful to restore blood flow to that area and improve their appearance. Now, if you have underlying medical conditions like, say, lymphatic sclerosis or painful intercourse, or you've had chemotherapy and you've given birth, or you're in a menopause year, that area changes as well. Your vulva vagina area changes. So a CO2 lift is really helpful to restore flow to the area, restore the tissue how it was. So in my practice, I recommend it to women. You can do it immediately after I've done a procedure, like say a labiaplasty, the same day, several treatments. You can use it just as a regular service after having children and your, sex is painful, you're feeling dry. That's very helpful. You can use it in conjunct with being on hormonal replacement therapy. So you can use it combined. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both. So I really diversify how I use it in my practice, and my patients are all really happy.
What a fantastic product. Now, how have you witnessed the CO2 Lift vaginal rejuvenation actually affect the health of your patients, including their skin down there? What are the actual results that you can report?
Oh boy. Well, that's a great question. I don't even have to look far. Let me answer it personally. I have used CO. Yes, I have used the CO2V lift, and let me just tell you, it was amazing. I am a perimenopausal patient, of mine, I guess you could say that. And what I loved about it is that it's the ease of application. So, ladies, it doesn't take much to apply this in the outer third of your vagina and outside of the vagina, the vulvar skin area, the clitoris, the labia minora, and let it sit for 45 minutes to an hour. You can even sleep overnight with it if you want to. And then in the morning, you just rinse it off. The effect of it, what I felt was the immediate effect was a cooling sensation that you get with it. And then over multiple treatment, you notice that the skin looks better and the performance in that area is also improved. Okay. So I have used it and I loved it. So whenever I'm recommending to my patient, I always reference myself, the ease of application, the results of it. And if you have underlying more medical condition, is also beneficial. So yes, I've used it and I love it, ladies.
So how many treatments do you recommend for somebody to see results?
Well, everyone is different depending what I am treating. So I usually give a ballpark anywhere from 3 to 15 treatment, depending what we're targeting. So let's say a woman that has Lynch's sclerosis or post chemotherapy, she may need more treatment. If a woman is having painful intercourse or vaginal dryness, then she may need fewer treatments. So it varies depending why we need to get you on it.
And then do you maintain after you finish the initial treatment?
Yeah, so maintenance is variable. I tell patients, take a look and see how you feel after 6 months to a year. You may feel like, okay, in a year time, I may need maintenance, or you may not. I have some patients that just use it routinely as their everyday protocol, and that's fine too. There's no harm to it.
I love it. Thank you so much. We are officially out of time, my dear, and I really appreciate you being so transparent about your own experience with the CO2 Lift V. That was one of the top testimonials I've heard, if I've ever heard one.
That's right, straight from the doctor's mouth.
There you go. All right. Stick around as we head over to Ayim Surgical Arts to visit Epifania Morales, one of Dr. Daisy's patients. She's going to share her thoughts on her revitalizing CO2 lift treatment after her chemical peel and Botox treatments. Let's dive right in. What's the main reason for your visit to Dr. Daisy today?
The main reason for my visit was skin concerns. I had dark pigmentation, I had dry skin. Also, I wanted something that was tightening and also to give me like that natural glow.
What is your most important consideration when evaluating skincare treatments?
My most important thing to evaluate for skincare would be, I would say, dryness, dark spots. It's quite a few. Also wrinkles. I wanted something. I'm looking for like tight skin, glowing skin.
How old are you and what do you do for work?
Okay, so I am 33 years old, and for a living, I am a stay-at-home mom.
Have you heard of carboxytherapy for skin rejuvenation?
I have heard of carboxytherapy for skin rejuvenation. I heard that it gives you more, it helps with anti-aging. It also is basically like magic for your skin, gives you like this nice cooling sensation. It's a really good product, so it is something that I did try.
What are you expecting from this CO2 lift treatment for pre and post care?
So I was expecting from the treatment was more young look, more fresh, more glowing, just basically everything that it did for me.
How did the mask feel on your face?
So using the CO2 mask, I did feel, it's a 45-minute process. I did feel it was cold. When you put it on your skin, it feels like magic was happening. So it did feel very refreshing on the skin.
What are the most apparent results?
I would say the most apparent results from using the mask would be the natural glow that I have after my face washes, especially immediately after I used the product. I did notice my skin was tightened and glowing and shining, and it was good.
Would you use the CO2Lift mask again for pre or post care?
The mask is something I would use again, as well as I would recommend it to everybody.
That was our Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2Lift in our Expert on the Microphone series. That was the incredible Dr. Daisy Ayim, and you can head directly to her website at drdaisyyim.com or check her out on the gram at Dr. Daisy Ayim, DrDaisyaYim. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2Lift. CO2Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase in luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.